This is Chuck Miller from Oracle, and today I want to take you through our Enterprise Command Center for Discrete Manufacturing, or EBS, e-Business Suite. It's our safe harbor statement. And now I'm on my Launchpad, logged in as manufacturing, and you can see I'm going into the Discrete Manufacturing Command Center. And when I come into the Command Center, I see that there are 5 dashboards that I can choose from. I am going to start with the work order status dashboard and work from there. I also want to show you that there's a bunch of key performance indicators. And what I've done is I've done conditional formatting to make some of the issues to be red or yellow. There is another video on this channel which explains to you how to do conditional formatting with the Enterprise Command Centers. I also have a drop down of filters or refinements I can place on the command center. So I'm able to do exactly what I want and be able to drill down into specific details like work orders, headers, details, bills of material, routings, etc., and sales orders. So those are some of the refinements I can select. And as I scroll down, you see that I have a bunch of bar charts here telling me about start dates and all of that. And as you can see from the screen, it's pretty extensive, that things that I can look at. And then finally, when I scroll all the way down, I see the existing work orders that I have in my system, which support those graphs. But then I have several tabs that I can also look at, ranging from work orders all the way to sales orders and serial numbers. Going back up to the top of the screen, I have created a save search as an illustration, and I've named it critical customers, and I have 2 critical customers in here. And I am going to select this, and my key performance indicators are going to change based on my search criteria. And you can see I'm going to focus on the work orders with operation delays, of which there are 3. And as I scroll down, I've selected the first work order here, and there's a number of things I can do. I can update this work order, look at which will take me back to the forms in EBS. I can view the genealogy of this work order, do a quick update, which will bring up a dialog box that I can update right on my command center, track the execution, and view timeline. I am going to select track execution. And as I track the execution, I see that I have the complete onset from components and resources all the way through operations down to the final operation. So I have a chart that I can follow all the way through. And I notice one of these operations has a red triangle on it. So I am going to isolate that and enlarge it so we can see what's going on. And when I put my cursor over it, I see hypertext that there is a finish delay on this particular operation. So there's a number of things I can do. When I right click, I can make this my anchor and go through my whole genealogy from that, show the details, highlight the path, view its timeline, etc. And what I am going to do is view the timeline. And viewing the timeline shows me what has occurred and the time frames that have gone into this. And as I hit and looking at the details of that, when I scroll down, I see a lot of good information in terms of times. But what I want to point out is the reason why there is a delay is, yes, I have completed one quantity through that operation, but it was rejected in quality. So that just lets me know that I need to make another unit and try to get it passed through quality. So that's the reason for the delay for my critical customers. And when I go to the next screen, I want to bring up the sales order tabs for the same work order. And when I do that, I can see my order for AC Networks and my order number. So I have a reference to give customer service information as to what sales order is going to be late based on the lateness of that work order. Switching gears, I've gotten rid of my save search, and I want to hone in on a specific work order. Let's say there's an incident and I want to find out what the status is. I can search a range of work orders, but I'm going to isolate one work order, and this is my work order number. And as I select that, I see that my key performance indicators have changed again, but I'm honing in on the materials tab because what I'm getting is information is that there's a lot of shortages going across this particular work order. So what I'm going to do is I want to take a look at this one specific item, and we'll start with that. I'm only going to show one specific item and what I'm going to do with that. So I have highlighted this item as being short. I'm missing 100 pieces. And I've decided to go over to the procurement purchasing enterprise command center because I want to see if I have any on order or if I have a PO coming in for this item. So I've done a search for that particular item and I brought it up and I'm going to select that as my filter. And I see that I have one overdue shipment. And this gives me the purchase order number, and that's the problem. The PO is late, and incidentally, the quantity on order was never going to satisfy the uh, need I had for that component on the work order anyway. But I did notice something else. I'm going back to the work order uh, command center. I did notice something else too, that I have a substitute component that I can use for this. So I am going to click on this substitute component and it brings up my material workbench, the HTML screen. And I see that I have 863 of these substitutes which are available to me. So I'm going to use that substitute and I go up to my actions and I am going to issue that component. And I get a message that a move order has been created for that. Going back to my work order that had the shortage, which I have now filled that one shortage, I want to select update. And it is bringing me back to the actual work order header in forms. So where I started out with, I had a work order. I went through and I saw I had material shortage. I looked to see if there were any on order and purchasing. There were, but they weren't going to satisfy my demand. So I went back in to the work order to see if I had a substitute component. I did. It was available and I issued it. And now I can release the work order. The work order is currently on hold. And when I select tools, I see that I can release the work order. And then once I do that and release the work order, I'm going back into my manufacturing command center. And I've done that. And I've gone to the lot genealogy dashboard of the discrete manufacturing command center just to show you. I made a simple example here where I'm tracing this serial number. And I see a purchase order has come in for goods with lot numbers used at a work order. Serial number was assigned. That was consumed with other lot numbers in another work order, all to generate a finished goods serial number. But the thing I want to point out is I can do a compound search. So let's say I have an instance where I have multiple serial numbers. Let's say it's a customer who's saying that there's a problem with the shipment. These are the serial numbers I have shipped. And I've said, okay, I'm going to do a compound search and I want to search multiple serial numbers at the same time. And I'm getting the complete genealogy on the screen. I've wanted to highlight the path. And what I did was I selected this first box that highlight path, and it's showing me the path that this particular item is taking all through the process to get to the final result here. Now I could drill into the purchase order, make this the anchor node and do some more exploration, look at adjacent nodes, show details, any of that type of stuff. But I wanted to show you what you could do, and I could always drill back into the purchase order. I've wiped out that search and I've come to the genealogy screen again, but this time I've entered in the sales order number. So I've got a critical sales order that I wanted to track. Maybe a customer says there was a problem with the product and I want chapter and verse. So I've gone from the component on previous screen all the way to the finished good. And now I'm starting at the sales order and seeing everything that has happened to this particular product all the way through inception of purchase orders, through work orders, adding materials, and production. That was a discrete manufacturing command center. I hope that was valuable to you, and thank you for your time.